So great news. After receiving a strike for a deleted stream in what feels like yet another attempt to try to shut down our coverage when it comes to a particular theme, talking about Australia and a certain nameless person, we fought for 14 days. That's right, 2 entire weeks. And you know what? We had this thing removed. That's right, victory, baby. Now, I want to talk about just how messed up this process is, too, because, essentially, I deleted a stream on the 2nd, I had that stream struck on the 3rd, so it was already deleted material, and because it was actually deleted, you had the platform say, well, you deleted material, so, even though we hit it after the fact, you know what? You can't review it. There is nothing more that you can do. Now, if you're rightly asking, why delete a stream if it causes so much problem, that umbrella guy? That's because without deleting streams for quite some time, they would get hit over and over again. In fact, right here alone, you can see 7 live streams being removed. This is one after the other. And if you look at the last time that this happened, I'm told that this is going to be harder going forward. But still, when you look at this, we were talking about the exact same theme. Remember, all of this, it's backed up in court documentation too. It's actually in the media now. But we were talking about Australia, a certain organization, and a certain name person. Now, you and I, we're going to talk about this reversal and so much more today. And when I'm talking about this, I want you to remember something. Not only do you have all of this material backed up in court documents, backed up with the Australian Senate talking about it, and so much more, but there are archives of this very stream that exist. During those 14 days, the archives, they're not a problem. No, the platform, the 144,000 people that see the information, that's the thing people want removed. Thankfully, again, the platform reversed that. But yeah, let's talk about that. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day. I hope you are doing excellently. And the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the strike itself. Also, I want to ask you to get this thing out there, to share it far and wide, because people need to understand that this is a problem. When I say this is a problem, and I can't get this stuff reviewed on my own either. I mean, literally, I can't get this stuff done on my own. I have to have someone to intercede. Otherwise, I get answers like this, saying, hey, I know you talked about this 6 days after the fact on Twitter. I know that thousands of people ended up sharing, liking, and on, but you know what? We just heard back, and we've determined that we're going to uphold this thing, which again was later reversed, and I'm glad for that, but still, again, on my own, this right here, this would have been upheld. See, in a situation like this, the strike, it isn't the only problem. I mean, sure, it's the beginning of the problem, but if you look at this view here, this is from YouTube Studio, by the way, this really spells out what the problem is with this type of material. Impact on your channel, you've just gotten one strike. The affected content, what exactly caused this? Well, you can't tell what that video is because that content, it was already deleted. Policy reason, they give you the policy reason breakdown, and then you get to actions. This is where you should be able to appeal. Content deleted by the user. Because this content was deleted, you are unable to appeal it. Now that rule, from what I understand, is supposed to be if you go in and you try to delete something after the fact. Say I get hit on the 3rd, I delete it on the 4th, thinking that'll fix something. Nope, that doesn't remedy the issue. But them going in and striking something after you delete it, I mean, that is absolutely mind-blowing here because, again, it's not only hitting material that you don't have access to, but you can't do anything in the aftermath, and it's going to be upheld. Now, like I was saying previously, the last time that this took place, this would have been 6 months prior. You had the exact same theme get hit up. And yes, I suppose you could not talk about this theme, but that's not right. I mean, here you have 2 public figures. One of these public public figures is bringing litigation against the other because they've been accused of terrible things. And you know what? They make a very convincing case about why all of those claims, they are untrue. Because of what happened in the UK 2020, you have what's called satellite litigation triggered. That's what's happening in Australia. That's being talked about publicly, openly, so there isn't anything private about it. So again, there is no harassment in this. There is no cyberbullying in this. This is a public trial. Somebody may not want you to talk about it, but yeah, you should be able to talk about it. And thankfully, that stuff, it was reversed both that time and this time as well. Now, the reason that I mentioned UK 2020 and satellite litigation, by the way, is because all of the information that Australia is reviewing, that comes from statements that were involved here. You have new statements being given, but still, if you look at who's involved, you have two people. They bring this up in the trial, by the way, but you have Kate James, that would be witness number one. That would be the former helper for a certain nameless person. And then you have Kevin Murphy, that would be number two. This is the former estate manager for JD and that nameless person. Now, on top of that, you have the Australian government actually providing some of this information as well, not just talking about it in a hearing. That was part of the newest stuff. But even before that, you had the Australian government respond to a freedom of information request. You have a citizen that asks a question or a few questions. You have the Australian government. They answer this. This is all readily available. This is publicly accessible. And that's the point of a Freedom of Information Request Act. You're asking for something to be released to the public. When they answer and they give you something about it, they're telling you, yeah, this is okay to discuss here. There shouldn't be any problem whatsoever with this information being discussed, except for the fact that the parties involved, of course, they're not going to want you to talk about it. Now, all of this, it links back to the media and quote-unquote trusted sources. By the way, I just want to say this about trusted sources. Isn't it crazy that you can have your own sources, legitimate sources, sources that back all of this stuff up to you, but you're not trusted? A place like The Sun, a tabloid. This is The Sun, by the way, but The Sun, TMZ, those are trusted sources. But yeah, people that haven't sold their integrity for a few dollars, yeah, not so much. But anyway, this, you can see, bringing up a certain person, you can see certain organizations, and you can see the place that we're talking about as well. And additionally, you have the place that's bringing this, the department of, you have the people that are discussing it, Kevin Murphy. So again, that's why you source back there. You have what exactly the term would be, and so much more. And yes, we won, which is beyond great. I want to thank all of you there. I want to thank the certain place that interceded on my behalf. I appreciate the heck out of you bringing that to attention. And you know, really for the platform, when they talk about bullying, they talk about harassment and more, that's not just annoying. That is offensive. I have a mental health background. I'm a professional here. I just talk about this stuff because I think it's interesting, and societally, we need change in that. False accusation, that's bad. Trials, people need to understand that and more. And saying that you covering that, that's you bullying somebody. I mean, like I said, that is grossly offensive. And boom, we won. We removed that. But it never should have happened in the first place. But anyway, thank you. Appreciate you. Ending here. Share this everywhere if you would. See you soon.